So you see this parking spot right here? This parking spot is a crucial point, and let me explain this later in the video.
Tonight, millions of Americans are on the edge of an economic crisis.
A new lockdown has been triggered for 33 million people.
Spotlight on an emerging economic crisis in America.
Desperate for help, out of work and out of patients can.
You have to understand, some of the stuff I'm about ready to tell you and show you in this video is very hard for me. I've never done this, but I felt like I owed it to every subscriber of mine to actually show them my journey. So this parking spot is at a college, Parkland College in Champaign, Illinois, and this parking spot was actually, it's windy out here, so bear with me. This parking spot was actually where I slept in my truck for days and days and days and days on end while going to college and working 4 part-time jobs to pay for it myself. I'm not making this video for sympathy. I'm not making this video for anything but to show you that anything is possible, and capitalism and e-commerce and business and entrepreneurship, anything is possible in this realm. So I slept in that parking lot right there. The one I showed you at the first of the video, it's where I slept. I know that because there's that tree right there, and I used to park right here for shade to sleep, and I would do full-time school and 4 part-time jobs, and this is where it all began, was right here. Let me tell you, life has never been easy for me. Okay, I grew up super poor. My parents didn't have money. They taught me to go to a full-time job and work and retire and die. And when I went to go to school, virtually my dad told me, you got to pay for it yourself because we can't afford it. See, the thing is, half of my life, or maybe not half, but maybe a good almost half of my life, I've been on public assistance, food stamps. I've been unemployed. Life has been a struggle, but life is a struggle for a lot of people. And I feel like it's in your own destiny to change it. I told you I slept in my truck. Well, part of my struggles was bills and credit card debt and other debt that I had that I couldn't get rid of because I didn't have enough money to pay it off. And when I started selling online and doing e-commerce and really got my entrepreneur spirit out of me, I realized debt was not the good way to go. I paid most of it off. We're very close to living debt-free, and I'm going to keep pushing on that journey. A lot of my change I seen with e-commerce, selling on eBay and Amazon and Walmart.com. That's where I seen a lot of ability for me to break into that market and to live my best life. But I also started with $20 in my savings account, and I just kept going to thrift stores and flipping it over and over and over and building it up over the years. And I'm a 6-figure seller. Like this year, I'll sell close to $400,000 online. So the one thing I have to show you is these apartment complexes back here. That's where I worked at 21 years old as an armed security officer for Section 8 housing. And at 21, I was shot at. I was punched. I chased people. It was crazy. I also worked at a sheriff's department around the same time. And also a couple years after this, worked for the state of Indiana. I've worked in prisons. I've worked in a lot of different scenarios in a criminal justice system. I also have 2 college degrees. This is me telling you that you don't really need college, because college was one of my way outs that I tried to take, but it didn't work, and here's why. Being a poor kid from Southern Illinois and not having money, like I said, college was my way out. At this apartment complex I worked at, there was 3 to 4 shootings a night. Let me tell you something. College didn't work for me because I spent too much time chasing a title, chasing this. I worked 10 years corporate retail and asset protection and loss prevention on top of that. And I chased title and all that so much. At 20 some years old, I was a super young father. I'd bought a house and was sleeping in my truck, and I didn't see my family 3 to 4 nights a week. And I missed my daughter growing up. And that was my one mistake in all this. I was so adamant about getting my revenge with success. I missed everything around me. But there's no doubt that you have to be that hungry to be successful, because if you're not, then you're gonna be lazy and you're not gonna wanna do the work. I literally had a revenge with getting my success, because I grew up so poor that I literally sabotaged myself any kind of way when I started making money. I sabotaged myself because I was used to the struggle. I had to learn how to embrace it. I became absolutely obsessed with finding a way to have my money work for me instead of working for my money. So then I started doing this. Goodwill. I started going to thrift stores with $20 in my savings account and flipping items on eBay. So you've seen, I picked up 2 pairs of shoes in there, but I started going to thrift stores and I took the $20 in my savings account and I started flipping it into more. And these 2 shoes, I'm gonna sell them for $100, and I only spent like $12.90. But I started looking and scouring thrift stores for items I could flip for a very decent amount of profit. So then I took those eBay profits, and I had about 3 grand saved up, and I started Amazon, and I started a thing called retail arbitrage. And what retail arbitrage is when you go into the department stores or just stores and you look for stuff that you can flip on Amazon for a profit. And that's where I accrued $40,000 to $70,000 a month in sales. And this year I'll hit almost $400,000 in sales on Amazon. And I found the wealth, and I was able to find time to spend with my family, because I have a lot of years to gain back with my daughter, because I lost them because I was too busy working. But I think you have to understand that reselling and selling online is tough. And if you're not driven, then you probably won't succeed. 1 in 10 small businesses actually make it or succeed. The rest of them fail. You see, I don't self-sabotage myself anymore, because I know I have to make money, and I want to make money, and I love money. But I self-sabotage my lot in my life because I grew up poor and I was on food stamps for 5 years of my adult life outside of the house of my parents, because it was just easier. And I didn't make a lot of money, and I had a family, and I was set in that mindset of, I'm stuck. I can't get out. But you can get out, because I got out. And if I could get out, anybody can. And that's why I'm so driven. And that's why I literally drive myself so hard to be successful, because I don't want to go back to that way ever again. And you can do the same thing. But I wanted to make this video to show you my downfalls and how I struggled my entire life. But in the last 7 to 8 years, I really got it together. So you have to understand, I've been in your situation. At 20 years old, I bought a house, and I sat on the floor for 2 weeks. We all sat on the floor for 2 weeks because I couldn't afford furniture to put it in the house. Now I own 2 houses, but I struggled immensely in my journey.